If you knew this was your last few hours on this planet Earth, what would you be doing?
Darling, I never asked myself such questions.
I'm asking.
So I don't have any hypotheticals like that.
What message would
I
you...
hope it, up to the last second I'm here, I'll be doing what I'm doing now with you.
If it were your last day, what would be your message to us? What would be the message you would want to leave for us?
Now, number one, I don't do anything really about me. I started, said 56 years ago, on seeing what a little individual who, penniless, unknown, might be able to do effectively. Was there something inherent in an individual that was not in a nation, was not in politics, was not in big business? What could the individual do? So I'm an experiment to see what the little individual could do. And I never forget, I'm a little individual. What is good news about me is that I am an average, healthy human being. I did have very good luck in getting that exposure to generalization through the Navy. That was extraordinarily good fortune. But at any rate, I don't do anything. People often ask me, I really have many newspapers, what do you want to be remembered for? I say, I don't want to be remembered. I'm not doing what I do to be remembered. I do hope what I've been able to discover and get out on paper and printed will be read and will be, the significance will be appreciated. I hope that's, but I don't care about appreciating me doing it. I want the people to appreciate the significance of it, so they'll act that way.
I wanted for you to share with them what you shared with me at lunch is the thing you say before you lay down every time. That I was so touched by that. I think these people would really appreciate hearing that.
I think, Peggy, I'd like to mention when we first sat down, I told you that I had been on this terrific, physically trying schedule. And it wasn't just crossing the Atlantic, things like that. They were occasions when people I was speaking to might make some difference, you know. And so I felt responsibility all the way. But at any rate, I've been traveling and speaking so much recently that I was really terribly tired. Last night I was so tired I really couldn't sleep properly. Sometimes when you're really tired, you can't. And I arrived here this morning feeling really, my heart was palpitating. I had, I'm sorry to say, my first experience with something like that going wrong in about 2 weeks ago in Boston. I was coming up out of the subway at Park Street there, and the escalator stopped. And it was 30 feet, it was 3 stories high. And there was an iron gate, one-way gate, and people were piling in behind me, wanting to get up this thing. So I felt compunction to try to get out of their way as fast as I could. So I worked terribly hard, pulling myself up that escalator, and I got to the top, and crossing Tremont Street, and I began to, luckily I had a young engineer with me. I said, I think I'm passing out here. And they just, I did pass out, and they got me onto a bench in the park. And next thing when I came to, they said, had an ambulance from the Massachusetts General Hospital, and they checked my heart and everything, said, you seem to be pretty good. You might as well go over to the hospital to have a checkup while we have the ambulance right here. So I did. And the young doctor, who was a really very good one in Massachusetts, they gave me electrocardiographs, a number of things, and he said, what's the name of your doctor? I said, Dr. Pocock in Los Angeles. So he called Pocock, and he told him what the symptoms and everything he had, and they both agreed that it's perfectly all right for me to go on now. Anyway, I'm still shocked by an event where I passed out, right in the street. Luckily, I had a friend with me. Anyway, when I came today, I was really feeling like that was almost imminent. I wondered, am I going to pass out in front of these people? No, I can't tell you, my heart was beating hard, and I having time to get enough breath. And so I was really very apprehensive. And when we met at lunch, I told you, I felt as if I was 10 years old again. There's something very mysterious that goes on. I've spoken probably, publicly several thousands of times, large audiences, and something happens very strange. The audiences give you strength. If we really understanding something together, there's something very, very mysterious about this. But I am right now, feel like a 10-year-old again. Something's absolutely happened to me. Anyway, that's what I talked to Peggy about. Then we had my grandson arranged things beautifully, and Ron, so that if we finished, they had a couch all waiting for me to lie down. And I can't go to sleep in a great hurry. No, my wife tells me I get to sleep in 30 seconds after lying down. I don't know what it was today, but you were sitting there.
About that.
Anyway, I stood up beside you and I said, Peggy, I'd like to tell you, whenever I'm going to lie down or to take a nap, even sitting in a chair, whenever I'm going to go to sleep, let go, I always say, yours, dear God, is all the glory. I have absolute faith and trust in you, period. And last night I said I didn't sleep very well. I kept seemed as if God might be, are we both supposed to die at the same time? There's some mystery going on. Maybe it's so. I'm sure every one of you had some very extraordinary experiences that can never be classified as probability. I'm not going to talk about the ones that I have had, but I really have had many, and I'm sure you have, where it goes way beyond coincidence. That nature has some kind of periodicity, the waves of things that go through. There's times when she has it very tightly in phase with new moons or whatever it may be, things, certain special things. But come back to why we're here today, Integrity Day. The thing about wonderful human beings and whatever we are doesn't really die. But this particular experiment, don't forget, we really are in question. Are we really going to carry on with our integrity? And I'm meeting so many human beings around the world. I have literally been invited. I've been around the world 50 times, never as a tourist, always doing some kind of a job. I've been invited and had appointments over 550 universities and colleges around the world. So enormous experience with human beings. And I obviously, and many things I've said to you, I'm tremendously familiar with a great set of changes going on. But you often you can really have a miscarriage here very easy. I think we're breaking through into a completely new relationship to the universe. I think we had to have the custom we had. I don't rue anything. People often ask me, how would you like to redo your life? I wouldn't change a thing. I don't know anybody who's made so many mistakes, and that's the only reason I know so much. And that brings me back. People do ask me, what do you think the most important discovery ever made? And I said, the importance of truth. Wow. So, darling, beautiful people, I feel you very deeply. I feel you must feel with me and able to appreciate when I tell you about other experiences I'm having like this. I think humanity does have a good chance of passing its examination. I think we went by the great crisis at the time of the Falklands. I don't want to get into the complex of why I say that, but I think we did. The question about whether you're going to use a bomb, 90% of humanity lived north of the equator. The 10% who lived south of the equator lived very close to the equator. The Falklands were 1,000 miles away from anybody. A place where bombs just would have nothing to do with it. And there was a military trial there as whether the United States could protract taking oil from Arabia 14,000 miles around Africa to Europe, and found out they couldn't. That's why the Europeans suddenly joined up with the Russian pipeline. There was a very enormous break in international politics occurred at that moment. Never going to be really spelled out too clearly for you, but I think we've actually gone through by the first point of tendency to really try out the bomb and found that it was not going to work in that kind of instance. All right? Now, I know we have the option I know we have the capability to destroy ourselves. I also know enough human beings to really be weighted on the side. I think it's touch and go, but I think we're going to make it. But don't let up. Don't let up or we won't make it. Keep at your integrity more than ever in all your life before. So thank you, darling people. I don't take that personally. I'm terribly excited by what you did because it tells me you understood me. Well, that's what we really care about. So I thank God for that.